Welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done recapping recent WNBA games, and now we're going to recap the Amundi Evian Championships. The Amundi Evian Championship took place at the Evian Resort Golf Club in France from the 11th to the 14th, so it ended yesterday. It was a really solid tournament with a lot of high-level competition. Before we get started recapping, I wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, using this link puts your questions and comments at the top of the list so that I see them and they get read on the air, and you get that, fun interactive aspect of the GSMC Sports Network. I also wanted to remind you guys to stay till the end of the show to hear about my rankings of the NWSL kits. It's a fun segment. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started talking about the Amundi Evian Championships. Okay, so on Thursday, which is the day that it started, Nelly, during round one, Nelly Korda, starting on the 10th hole, birdied 3 of her first 6 holes before making a double bogey on the par 3 16th. She recovered with a birdie on the par 5 18th to make the turn in 2 under 34, and then played her incoming 9th in even par with 2 birdies and 2 bogeys. Korda birdied all 4 par 5s in round 1. Following her 2 under 69, the world number 1 was just inside the top 20, 5 shots off the early lead. Korda, who won 6 of her first 8 starts this year, is coming off 3 consecutive missed cuts. That latter stretch includes 2 major championships, the U.S. Women's Open and the KPMG Women's PGA Championships. Korda next has to avoid any repeat of what happened at the KPMG. I'm so sorry, KPMG, where she opened in 3 under 69 at Sahalee Country Club, but carded a shocking 81 that Friday to miss the cut. So the first round ended with 3 players tied for first and 6 other players tied for second, 1 stroke behind. Gemma, Dryburgh, rookie Ingrid, Lindblad, and Tavatanakit led at 7 under. Lauren Coughlin, Lydia Ko, Hyaju Kim, Ayaka Furue, Jin Sung, and Gabby Lopez were tied at 6 under. Lindblad pulled the greatest surprise of the round with a bogey-free 7-birdie performance to take the share of the lead. Dryburgh and Tavatanakit were also bogey-free. Defending champion Celine Boudier finished the first round in T21 with a score of 2 under. The second round was suspended due to weather, so the second round started on Friday and had to continue for some people on Saturday. So on Friday, Ayaka Furue led the field at 12 under par and 3 shots clear of her closest competitors. With 5 holes still left in her second round, Furue was 6 under par and bogey-free through 31 holes. Stephanie Kyriacou and Haeran were 9 under par for the tournament and each sat at 4 under par in their second round. Both players returned on Saturday to complete their second rounds, with Kyriacou through 16 holes and Ryu through 11. Angela Stanford, who earned her maiden major title at the 2018 Amundi Evian Championship, sat in a tie for 4th through 12 holes with fellow major champion Tavatanakit through 15 holes at 8 under. Prior to the suspension of play, the morning wave was able to complete round 2, and several players made jumps in the top 10 with their second round scores. With a second round 63, LPGA Tour rookie Jin Sung started the day in a tie for 75th, and currently at that moment sat tied for 6th heading into Saturday, which that was it's hard to explain, but that was her end of round 2 on Friday. So she didn't have to continue on Saturday for round 2. So into Saturday or round 3, she was tied for 6th. Sung recorded an eagle, 7 birdies, and 1 bogey during her second round, assigned for the lowest 18 hole of her young career. She was just the 3rd player in Amundi Evian Championship major history to shoot a 63 or lower in the second round. Sung said, quote, "I think the course is pretty familiar in courses I played in Korea. It's a bit tougher here than in Korea, but there are many similarities, so I think Korean players may have an advantage in attacking the pins. Even if you hit it well, the ball tends to bounce out quite a bit, so it's important to keep your mental game in and focus when that happens," unquote. LPGA Tour veteran Mi-Hyun Lee recorded a 5 under 66 to move into a tie for 6th from 21st place. Additionally, 3 players, Georgia Hall, Naran An, and Jin Young Ko, recorded second round scores of 67 on Friday morning to sit in a tie for 10. Finishing up round 2 on Saturday, Ayaka Furue confirmed her leading status at a total of 12 under, finishing her second round with 5 pars. Despite a slight dip in form at the end of her round 1, she relied on flawless putting to save pars on the 10th and 12th holes. She then made another par on the 13th before the foghorn halted play. Resuming on Saturday morning on the 14th tee, she hit another regulation green. She then created 2 clear birdie opportunities on the 15th and 16th, but without success. 2 more pars to complete her second 18 holes kept her in sole possession of the lead on the halfway point with no mistakes over 36 holes. 2 strokes behind, Stephanie Kyriacou and Tavatanakit shared second place at 10 under. After round 2, there were several players that were expected to make the cut, but unfortunately they did not, and those players were Ayaka, Leona McGuire, Yuka Sasso, Megan Kong, Charlie Hull, Carlota Singanda, and Ale Kim. For the amateurs, Rachel Keon was the only one who made the cut thanks to her impressive 36-hole total of 2 under. Adela Cernarsik missed the cut by 2 strokes, Lottie Wood and Melanie Green by 3, Megan Schofield by 4, and Chun Wee Woo by 5. Finally, Yana Wilson used her first appearance at Evian to gain experience. Moving on to round 3, which continued on Saturday, Stephanie Kyriacou took the lead. The most consistent player this week with 3 rounds of 66, 66, 67, totaling 14 under par. She is now reaping the rewards. Playing in the final group of a major for the first time, all eyes were basically on her. Trailing by 1 stroke were Ayaka Furue and Lauren Coughlin. Playing alongside Kyriacou Saturday was Ayaka Furue, impressive with both her long game unputting in the first 2 rounds. The world number 21 slightly slowed her pace after shooting 2 consecutive rounds of 65. She extended her bogey-free streak to 46 holes before minor errors on the 11th and 13th holes bookend on a birdie on the 12th, resulting in a final score of 70 for moving day. Meanwhile, Lauren Coughlin has also joined the final group of the major, playing on the LPGA since 2018. She had a strong start this week, finishing Thursday at 5 under, just 2 strokes behind the first round leaders. Her last 3 holes in the second round lightly set her up for moving day. I feel like it set her up well. A 70 left her poised for a strong comeback, which she achieved with a magnificent second round score of 65, featuring 4 birdies and 2 eagles. After 2 rounds of 70, Ali Ewing stepped up her game, finishing her 3rd round with a bogey-free 64, the best score of the day. Tavatanakit struggled a little bit during round 3. She had a double bogey on the first and a bogey on the third. However, a birdie on the 4th, followed by another on the 9th, put her back on track. She finished her moving day with a 72, still within reasonable distance of leader Kyriacou to hope for a victory on Sunday. Celine Boutier also struggled at the start of her 3rd round with the triple bogey, following an errant drive to the right and a series of small mistakes. From there, she had a rally, which she did, with 3 birdies and 2 bogeys. Over the next 17 holes, she managed to finish with a 73. I thought it was a pretty good comeback, to be honest. Lastly, during round 4 on Sunday, the suspense was rough, but it was Ayaka Furue who ultimately seized the trophy of the Amundi Evian Championship. After an exceptional start to the week with 46 bogey-free holes, she faced a few tougher holes without even faltering. Often saved by her putting and frequently comfortable with her long game, she demonstrated consistency and exemplary behavior. Already leading after the 2nd round, she had to battle relentlessly to fend off Kyriacou. Kyriacou started the final round as the tournament leader and delivered a fabulous final 18 holes, with 5 birdies on her scorecard, including 3 on the last 4 holes. The bogey on her 17th might linger in her mind. Nevertheless, it was her first time in a final group of a major, likely heralding a promising series. Notably, she was the only player to shoot under 70 throughout the week. The last few holes did not favor Lauren Coughlin, whose missed short putts on the 16th and 17th led to 2 bogeys, dashing her hopes of lifting the trophy. Nonetheless, it was a very successful week for the American, who showcased her skills in honor of Angela Stanford's career end. Following her 4 top 15 finishes in 2024, the world's 56th ranked player can be proud of her impressive performance this week. So here's how the top 12 places looked at the end of round 4. Ayaka Furue at first under 19 under, Stephanie Kyriacou in second at 18 under, Tavatanakit in third at 17 under, Lauren Coughlin in fourth at 15 under, Haeran at 5th at 13 under, Parjouri Ananarukarn and 6 at 11 under. I feel like she snuck in there. Like, she was not making headlines at all. To be honest, I wasn't paying much attention to her when watching the competition because I did not expect her to, beat some of the players who ended up getting cut, but then, she snuck in there. And then tied at 7th at 10 under were Peiyun Chien, Esther Henzelet, and Jin Sung. Tied at 10th at 9 under was Ayaka Furue and Ali Ewing. Lastly, tied at 12th at 8 under was Jenny Shin, Haeju Kim, Paula Rito, Madeline Sagstrom, and Haeran Ann. One other notable thing from round 4 was that Peiyun Chien made a hole-in-one. The 33-year-old aced the par 3 16-hole at Evian Resort Golf Club from 155 yards with her 8-iron to record the first hole-in-one of her professional career and the 4th ace she has ever had in her life. So that concludes our recap of the Amundi Evian Championships. We are now going to move into the next segment where we talk about the CrossFit Games predictions. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.